Exciting Friday night, Thursday night winner. Fans came out. It was a really great environment. Being able to only throw 2 pitchers on Friday is very advantageous for us for the series. Bassinger had thrown 3 times last week and had a little bit of a neck strain. Estridge threw against Marshall. Ben Hudson threw. So being able to give the bullpen a little bit of a rest, and Chase Meyer taking a big chunk of the game with 3.1 innings with 5 strikeouts and 2 walks was excellent. Griffin Kern was outstanding again. Quality start, 5.2 innings, 6 strikeouts. Never really got the offense cooking too much, but Nate Taylor for them is a really, really great pitcher and had a great game tonight. It's a competitive team. They run the bases well. They really, really bunt. It's the best bunting team in the country. Bishel, even when he was at Central Michigan, they could always really bunt, and so they do a nice job with that part of the game. But exciting game to end it with a strikeout with the ball hitting a guy's foot was pretty wild. Haven't seen that a lot. So good way to start the series. There was a conversation. I think just in the heat of the moment with emotions, sometimes people have something to say, but I don't take that stuff too seriously. Move on, turn the page.
This game had a little bit of a different feel than most of yours this year because it was 2 starting pitchers, kind of dual. You haven't had that a lot this year. With that playing out that way, does that change the way that you're setting up the later innings in it?
Yeah, we haven't had that a ton. I didn't feel great about our bullpen just because they got taxed at Houston and at Marshall. Sometimes those midweek games, you could throw maybe some different arms, but we didn't do that against Marshall. They were a really tight game, and we needed to use the guys that we really relied on Tuesday, so short rest. So Chase hadn't pitched since Houston, and that was probably his worst outing of the season was against Houston. So to be able to see him bounce back and basically overcome that outing, turn the page, is a real big mental growth moment for him. So I was excited for that. But they have their bullpen remaining. When they brought in Chase Horst in that moment, they were trailing. So they didn't go to their closer tonight. So they're going to have a bullpen full.
How immediately did you know that final strike hits off the batter's foot? And then how heads up of a play is it that Logan knew that and was able to point that out?
I had no idea. Everyone else in the dugout seemed to know other than me, but Oni was fired up. Coach Oni, pitching coach, he was like cheering when the ball was going to the backstop and everything was moving in slow motion to me. And I was like, this is an odd thing. I'm pretty sure the game is tied and the winning run's on first base. He's like, I hit him in the foot. And then Logan was saying, I hit him in the foot. So then I was saying, it hit him in the foot. But I could just tell from the dugout's reaction that it was relatively calm. It wasn't begging for a call. It really seemed like it hit him in the foot. My biggest reason I thought that it did is because Logan is the best blocker in the country. Like, he's incredible, and Chase throws one of the best breaking balls and buries it consistently, and you just don't even notice Logan. He just blocks everything all the time. So I was like, that's super unusual, and everyone's saying it hit his foot. It probably hit his foot and ricocheted off.
You mentioned that Chase had struggled against Houston. How do you have so much trust in him to put him in bases loaded in a tight game?
I think it's just playing to win. You put your best players with the most talent in the game, and you go down swinging is the reality of it. And so you can always play conservative, but over the course of 56 games and with this bigger picture of trying to win games in postseason play and in the biggest moments, you have to trust your best arms. If you show weakness or you get scared of putting people in the game that have done it and worked and are capable and super talented, you end up just playing kind of scared. You play defense, and playing defense eventually gets you beat. If it's not today, it'll get you beat tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's later in the season. If it's not later in the season, it's in the regional, right? So you have to just keep putting the guys out there where you see in your mind like what it's going to look like to be your best version of the team when it matters most.
Was Jace Poles that defensive substitution and then Lumsden's first at bat right before it? Was that like chicken going on between you guys, between pitcher and hitter?
That's right.
Okay.
So Jace was already pulled for defense.
Okay.
There was 2 innings left in the game. We left Kyle West in for defense because we knew Kyle West was going to have to hit. There was 6 hitters left until Kyle West came up. So we left Kyle West in there, and he's become a good defender. He's not our best option on defense. But Jace, we didn't know he was going to get up. So we put a better defensive option in right field and Lumsden in there. And so Kyle West did get up, and then Lumsden got up. And I was going to pinch hit. I made a mistake because I was going to pinch hit Gavin Kelly for Lumsden, but I think Bischel was coming out of the dugout to put in a righty at that time because their lefty Horse had just walked a left-handed hitter, Kyle West. He walked Kyle West. Yep, that's right. And so I started to walk to put Kelly in, but then I saw that Bischel was going to go put the righty in. Well, the righty's this sinker, slider, pretty nasty, hard on a righty. So I just called an offensive timeout and talked about it, walked back to third base, saw if Bischel was going to make the move or not. He chose not to, and I trust Lumsden and want Lumsden to get going, and he hadn't had success this year, but it's a pretty high percentage play to be able to put a ball in play or have something successful happen with bases loaded with no outs. There's a lot of ways to do a job there, sac flies and ground balls and everything else. It didn't work out for us, but I thought Gavin Kelly's still in the dugout, and if they get a wild hair because Horse got Lumsden out, I thought they might leave him in because he found the strike zone and that he's a better option, in my opinion, than what they had warming up in the pen. So I go to Gavin Kelly. That basically forces them to put the righty in the game. Gavin Kelly, in general, he's unbelievable versus lefties. He's hitting like 450 or 60 versus left and doing really well against righty, and he's a contact guy. So I said, okay, we'll live and die with a guy that will put the ball in play and run. He runs so well that you don't think that they'll turn the double play, and you're looking for a run there essentially. And that guy carved Kelly, and we were just talking about in the dugout. He didn't have a great at bat, but if Gavin Kelly's up with bases loaded, you always feel pretty good for the most part. And then we had the final out after him was Swain, right on right, and so they had a big moment, man. Storming off the field in the ninth is not how you want to draw it up. You have a chance to kind of offensively close the game out, which is what you would want to do there. And we didn't do the job, so I felt like you called it chicken. I lost the chicken battle for the inning, but we ended up winning the war there in the game.
Being in the third base box there, you don't have your book, all of your stuff there. I'm sure you're talking, communicating with the other coaches in the dugout. How much interplay is there going through all those things you just described?
More preparation before the game, have an idea of who it is and what numbers, and you're looking to the pin and you're getting your idea. Sometimes it's nice being in the third base box. It's not good because you can't talk to the players to prepare them, but before the inning you're always saying, like, make sure Kelly's ready to go, make sure Egar's ready to go into third in the ninth. So, and you start to get in a rhythm with your coaches and they know kind of where you're going a little bit. But I found it's kind of nice to be able to slow the game down because in general, when the other team's pitching, you want to be out there for a long time. You want those innings to get extended. It's hard on pitchers when they're out there for 15 minutes. They want to get on and off the field. And so me being able to walk, talk to an umpire, make a change, it feels like the defensive inning slows down for them a lot. And that's not intentional, but it is certainly part of the equation because I'm the third base coach. So I've actually kind of liked that. And being able to call an offensive timeout, I just think sometimes in the other dugout, it's frustrating.
Sending Kyle on Jason's double, was there any hesitation on your part there at all? Or you full send the whole way?
Full sent the whole way. The left fielder was playing really deep, like on the chain link, and it was hit down the left field line. Kyle West is a better runner than you would think. He's a pretty good runner for a big dude, and sent him all the way before the middle infielder. The middle infielders throw well, but they're not elite throwers, and so I think if there was a shortstop and we were playing a different team that had a little bit of a better arm, he probably would have been thrown out in that scenario. The left fielder I was worried about because the left fielder is also a pitcher. He's a closer, Mitchell. He's one of their trusted arms. So he has a cannon. He has a good arm, but it had to relay to the shortstop, and then we got a high throw there. So it was an aggressive play. You don't usually send guys down the left field line with a man off first base, but he was playing in the gap, and he was super deep. So we took our shot, and that ball didn't even get to the wall. He cut that ball off. So Kyle West had a huge game. He scored from first, and then in the first inning, he that jump steal and went to second base, and then Reinhardt had the single. So the guy was cruising, punches out West. They miss it as a catcher. He gets the first, still second, single. We're up 1-0. Ended up being a one-run ball game, so that was a huge play as well.
Would you have envisioned, after the way you won Tuesday, maybe winning a more unique way tonight? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Somebody said it happened earlier, but we didn't win a game by hitting a guy in the foot yet this year, have we? I think we have a couple strikeouts. Chase's stuff's so nasty. He will hit some people and get strikeouts. Like, that's not the first time this year for that to happen. I think it's number 2 or 3, actually. But just to end a game like that is bizarre. So the last 2 games have been pretty wild.
What did you think of Jace's performance tonight with his 2 big hits and 2 RBIs?
Big hits, both with 2 strikes. He's just competitive. He's super consistent. You always have a chance because he's such a level-headed kid. So even if he's not feeling good or things aren't going his way, he always gives you a chance. It doesn't matter who's pitching and what the count is. And both those knocks being 2 out, 2 strike. 2 out, 2 strike RBI.